Hi guys, I'm Andrea. Long time no see. It's literally been like, I think over 2 months now, or no, a month and a half, I don't know, since I last made a video. It's been a while is what I'm saying. And I'm here with a tag video that I was actually tagged in like a long time ago by Jocelyn, aka Yogi with a Book, and this tag was originally created by This Story Ain't Over, and it's the thank you next book tag, hence why I'm dressed like this. This is my poor imitation of Ariana Grande. Yeah. Name a book that you said thank you next to, i.e. DNF, to not finish the book. I DNF a lot of books. I'm a true believer in DNFing books that you are not enjoying. Why waste your time on something that's just not connecting or clicking? So yeah, and a lot of these books that I DNF'd are actually really popular booktube books, like Six of Crows. I've tried reading I think 5 times now, and the most recent attempt was a couple of weeks ago and I just couldn't get into it. I read all of Shadow of Bone, I read King of Scars, and I got to Six of Crows and I just couldn't, I just couldn't get through the pages really. But I do eventually want to finish reading this book. I just need to find the right amount of concentration to finish it. I DNF'd like all the Sarah J Maas books. I DNF'd what else? A Darker Shade of Magic. So yeah, I'm just like a serial DNFer, to be honest. And it's not saying that these books are bad or that I hate them or anything. It's just I just can't get into them for some reason. So you can answer the next 3 questions together or separately with completely different books. Name a book that taught you love, name a book that taught you patience, and name a book that taught you pain. So basic bitch answer is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, because that book really introduced me to the world of fantasy and reading and just immersing yourself into a world so deeply that you like kind of never want to leave it. So definitely Harry Potter. I would have to say Little Women would be a book that taught me love, because it's a book that I read when I was really young. I was like 6 or 7 years old I think when I started reading this book, and it just introduced me into, I guess, character-driven plots and having books take turns that you didn't expect them to, or follow romances that you don't necessarily agree with, and that definitely happened with me in Little Women. Yeah. A Secret Garden is another one. The Secret Garden, sorry. Tom Sawyer, Huckleberry Finn. I read a lot of classics when I was younger. A book that taught you patience. A book that taught me patience is actually a series that taught me patience, and I'm still going through that right now because the book still isn't out, and that is the Game of Thrones series, Winds of Winter. That book still ain't out, and I'm waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and the TV show's gonna end and I'm still gonna be waiting to see how the book series actually ends. So a lot of patience is required because it's literally like so many threads are just floating and you don't know where they'll land. So name a book that taught you pain. A book that taught me pain, I have it over here on my bookshelf and I will show it to you. Right here. This. So I remember being so excited for Cursed Child, like obnoxiously excited. I bought this book the day it came out. I literally ran to the store and I was reading it in the car, and like, yeah, I just have problems with some of the characterization of the new characters because they felt very fanficky, and that's not to knock on fanfiction. I love fanfiction. I stan fanfiction. I download fanfiction onto my Kindle and read it like if it was true literary art, which it is. So this isn't knocking like any pegs on fanfiction. I'm just saying that the characters themselves felt like OCs. You know when they do like I don't know, Harry Potter X OC, original character. Some of the new characters felt like that, like Barry Shue and Mary Sue-esque. Yeah, so I was really disappointed because I really wanted to love it, and I guess in hindsight there are certain aspects of it that I enjoyed, like Draco. But besides that, it was kind of hard to connect that, and it's really sad because J.K. Rowling, if you follow her on Twitter, I had to unfollow her on Twitter because like she's Twitter. So yeah, it's like a book and author that taught me pain, because I love her world and I love Harry Potter and I love how invested so many people are in it, and I love the theme parks and I love everything about it, except that now as time progresses, the author herself makes some questionable decisions concerning her story, and it's kind of disheartening. Name a book that you loved at the time of reading, but in hindsight you did not like as much. I guess this would have to be the Twilight series because I was literally a Twihard. I was obsessed with this. My walls are filled with Twilight posters everywhere. And I was just obsessed with this series. I thought it was the next Bible, basically. I thought it was so good. It kind of just made me feel so invested in the characters and the world, and I just wanted to like be Stephanie Meyer, and I would go on her website like every single day and try to learn new things about the characters. And I recently read parts of my Twilight books and I'm like, yo, this is worse than I remember though. So yeah, definitely Twilight series. And I guess jumping off of that vampire genre, definitely Vampire Diaries. I was really into it when I started reading those books, and I thought the writing was so amazing in there too. I thought that it was like the greatest thing ever. And then I started rereading them a few months ago, and it's just like there's so many plot holes, you know? Name a book you're currently talking to / have the hots for. Gods of Shade and Shadow by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. This book is out this August and it's so amazing. You guys have to read it when it comes out. It's like the best thing. It's just one of my favorite books of all time now, and I just adore basically every single aspect of it. It's about a Mayan god and a strong girl in the 1920s in Mexico, and it's just myth making and myth building, and it's heartbreaking and it's heartwarming, and I love the main character, Cassiopeia, who is like, she's so full of emotion. It just fills her to the brim, and it invades like all her world around her, and she's very brave. She's super strong, but that doesn't mean she isn't like vulnerable either, and I love how she owns both of those things. Like, she's a very well-rounded character, and I adore her, and I really love this book, and you guys should definitely read it when it comes out. I'm very, very excited to buy it in physical format. Name the book that gonna last, the book of you, the book that helped you love yourself a little bit more. Broad answer for me, this is Annie Latinak's Own Voices book, and it's just so heartening. Like, as a person who appreciates the art of storytelling and story building and creating, and just loves to write, as a person who loves to write, it's just so warm to read a book and find parts of yourself in it. And it doesn't necessarily mean like in physical features or in the places where the books take place themselves, but in little things, in the food, in the sayings, in like the familiar cultural background. I mean, recently I think this book would have to be I'm Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter by Erica Sanchez, and although me and the main character Julia have nothing in common, we're pretty different, like personality wise and look wise, the way that she is kind of dedicated to her family, even though she doesn't like to admit it, she has a lot of love for her family, and I definitely related to that love and just sense of being confused where you are in the world.